And I call this meeting to order of the Salinas Traffic and Transportation Commission at 7 o'clock. 6 o'clock. I want to be, hopefully it's 7 o'clock soon. We're going to start off with the Pledge of Allegiance, please. Does anybody specific want to lead us, or I'll just start? Ready? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Good evening. Welcome to this meeting of the Salinas Traffic and Transportation Commission this Thursday, September 11th, 2025. Agendas are available at the back of the room in front of the entrance, and hopefully everybody has microphones and they can hear me speaking loud and clear. Chrissy, would you mind doing roll call for us, please?
Commissioner Daly?
Oh, I'm here. Gemma Daly, yes.
Commissioner Metelli?
Present.
Staff did not hear from Commissioner Orsonio, but we did hear from Commissioner Guerra that he will not be here this evening. Commissioner Hammer?
Loud and clear.
Commissioner Peterson?
Sure, here.
Commissioner Hernandez?
Here.
And I would like to introduce Arlene Serratos. She's our new Public Works Assistant. She'll be backing up staff for commission items.
Thank you. Do we want to introduce our new commissioner as well? I'd like to introduce Miss Gemma Daly.
Thank you.
And that is the...
Excited to be here, thank you. Especially on this very amazing day. I mean, 9/11, thank you.
And that is the mayor's appointee for this commission. Do we have any comments, public comments, not on the agenda? Any member of the public wanting to address the commission on items not on tonight's agenda, but under the purview of the commission may do so at this time. There will be an opportunity to approach the commission regarding scheduled agenda items as they are addressed by the commission. Please go ahead. Your mic. Barely.
Okay, I'll try again. Good evening, commissioners. Michelle Overmeyer with Monterey Salinas Transit. It's nice to be here with you. There are new faces. It's been a while since I've been before the commission, so I just wanted to come and share some information about Monterey Salinas Transit, MST. I see I have 2 minutes, so I'm going to use as much of that as I can. For those of you that aren't aware, MST is the public transit operator in Monterey County. We provide a lot of service in Salinas. In fact, Salinas is our area of highest transit demand. You might have seen the KSBW story. Our ridership in the city has exceeded pre-COVID levels. We do provide a vast array of services throughout the county and the city, so not just the fixed route, but we also provide door-to-door service for people with disabilities who need that special transportation. We provide van pools and taxi vouchers. Any college student with a valid student ID can ride for free if they go to Hartnell, MPC, or Cal State Monterey Bay. MST has been participating in the city's general plan update. Natalie Flores is our associate planner, and she's been very engaged with the city, and we're excited to see the city grow. Part of our plans, too, are working with the cities and developers as land changes. We're updating our designing for transit guidelines, and this is something that the city engineers and developers use when making any changes to land uses, road infrastructure. And so this will be really important as the city's east area builds out. The Barden Ranch specific plan is going to be developing, and so it's important that it is designed for transit. So we're working with city staff on that as we update the plan. And then MST fixed route buses, the big buses, are 10 feet 7 inches wide, and so it's really important to accommodate that in your traffic plans since MST is part of the solution to getting traffic or getting people out of their cars and reducing traffic congestion. So we're looking forward to working with city staff. We also have a project coming up. We're going to be studying the East LSL area for bus rapid transit and possibly relocating our Salinas Transit Center. So a lot coming up. If you'd like a formal presentation in the future, I'm happy to do that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. It was very nice to put a face to the name now.
Mr. Chair, Commission members, my name is Leo de la Rosa, and I don't know if the issue that I bringing into you has already been discussed before, but I'll go ahead and say it. This street here, I think it's Lincoln and Market. There's a stop sign, light. The next street over has a light also, and that intersection there between both of them, it creates a lot of traffic. And just today, as I was coming in, it's happened before, as I'm coming in on Market, and I have the green light to turn on Lincoln this way, I mean, I couldn't make it because it's traffic all the way across. So I don't know if it would help putting up a sign, vehicles, please stop on, on the lines and let the traffic, okay? So I just thought I'd bring it in if it hasn't been mentioned, so it'll be in the books. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else? Any comments come from Zoom? I think we're Zooming today for the very first time. We're not? Oh, we are Zooming, but there's no one. Okay, well, I guess we're not that popular. Let's see. Consent agenda is the approval of the minutes. All items included on the consent agenda may be acted upon entirely with a single motion by the commission. Are there any items from the commissioners with regard to any items on the consent agenda, which in this case just happens to be the minutes? Do I list off the commissioners or just go?
Do any commissioners have comments?
I'm going to abstain since I wasn't here and not familiar with them.
We'll call that on the roll vote.
Okay.
Mr. Peterson? No comments? Mr. Hernandez? None? Perfect. And
So we can entertain a motion.
sorry.
That's okay. That's okay.
Is there a motion on the floor for adopting or consenting to the agenda minutes?
I so move.
We have a second?
In it.
Mr. Hernandez? Perfect. Chrissy, can we do
Roll call.
a roll call?
Commissioner Daley? Yes?
I'm going to abstain. Thank you.
Commissioner Mattelli?
Yes. Aye.
Commissioner Orsonio is absent. Commissioner Hammer?
Yes.
Commissioner Peterson? And Commissioner Hernandez? Yes, aye or nay?
Yes.
Thank you.
I just realized I did not ask the public for any comments on the minutes. Are there any comments from the public regarding any of the minutes? Kind of backwards. I'm sorry. I apologize. My first time as a chair.
It'll grow on you.
I hope not. The consideration agenda is next. And the next item in the consideration agenda is an administrative report, ID 25395, the 2025-2026 special curb marking deletions. And I believe this is an informational report only.
Yes. So good evening, good afternoon, commissioners. So this item, we bring it as an informational item only, and it's to provide the overall renewal process and every fiscal year, at the end of every fiscal year, the special curb markings that are out there, they get renewed. We send notices to the businesses. There's 3 notices that they are provided. The first 2 are mailed to the business owners, and the third one is taken in person. And we tend to follow up even after, which is for this go around, we have one business that will be deleted, and it's Agave Auto Sales at 714 East Market Street. And there was no response after I guess 4 contacts that we did, 3 notices, and then we tried to reach out to them through phone, and the phone provided in the application was a disconnected line. So that's the only changes that will be happening. All the other businesses and special curb markings, they renewed and paid the renewal fee. So we'll be moving forward those and be maintaining and refreshing the required zones. And with that, I'll open it up for any questions and comments.
Commissioner Peterson? Commissioner Daly? Commissioner Metelli?
Yes, I actually do have a question because I read this before we got here. What I'm not understanding is on that report that you submitted, some of them have, all the fee looks the same, but some have different quantities. So is the business, if they need 1 marking, it's the same fee as if they need 3 markings?
Yes, it's
Okay.
per stalls.
And what kind of special markings are these?
These are blue, white, yellow, and green, or timed and timed.
Because they're limited on the minutes they can park there?
Yes.
Based on the color?
Yes.
Okay.
Those are the zones within our ordinance of special curb markings under this program, special curb markings.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Commissioner Hernandez?
On these markings, will they be enforced? I mean, you know, a lot of times people overstay, you know, when they park. So how's that going to work?
The one thing that's within the application and we let the business owners know is typically for the enforcement, it's typically on an on-call basis, and they can submit through Salinas Connect or they can reach out to city staff. And if the fastest, more efficient, I would say, is through Salinas Connect, whether it's through the app, city website, or phone. And a parking enforcement request would typically go to our parking enforcement, which is LAS, and then they tend to typically respond pretty quickly on those.
Okay, that's all. Thank you.
Thank you.
And I just have a quick question. I notice a few of them are 0, and I'm assuming that is because they are nonprofits and or schools or other governmental agencies?
They have resolutions tied to them in regards to any type of fee being waived. We would have to check individually in each one to kind of identify, but they typically at the installation time, there was, you know, some agreement to that.
Okay, because I see one specifically that looks like it's a private business and that's a 0 behind it, so that would be tied to
Yes.
some resolution somewhere else.
Correct.
Okay, perfect. And then the other question I had is there a central place where this is available to the public of all of them, or if of even the ones that are not special curb markings but just in the city? Is there a list that the public can say like where they can park?
There hasn't been yet, and there's not one just yet of kind of parking availability throughout the city. That could be something that we can work on in terms of providing that to the public.
Thank you. That is, I believe, all the questions on our end.
Thank you.
The public, does the public have any questions on this? Or comments? No? All right. Makes it really easy. And since this was an informational item, I don't think we have to vote on it, do we? So that brings us to the next item on our consent agenda. I'm sorry, on a consideration agenda. And that is the item 25339 or 339, 25339 is a 2025-26 prioritization of restriping projects.
Okay. Good evening, Commissioners. My name is Jonathan Hernandez. I'm with the Traffic Division. Tonight, I'll be presenting the 2025-2026 prioritization of restriping projects. clicker's not working. Apologies. Okay. The recommended motion is a motion recommending City Council approve the 2025 prioritization of certain projects. So a little bit of a background. Restriping has traditionally been performed with pavement maintenance. Deferred pavement maintenance has resulted in faded striping. Restriping all roads exceeds the city's annual budget, and therefore the city must prioritize restriping. So the budget we have for this year, fiscal year, is of $300,000. $50,000 of those goes to admin costs, and $50,000 goes to the actual improvements. In addition, staff recommends retaining roughly $30,000 to respond to smaller requests through the year, such as crosswalks, legends. That being said, staff has a criteria for ranking each street road segment. There is no policy, but this is the criteria that the staff goes by to determine what streets are going to be restriped. Not specifically in this order, but we take into consideration road classification. That means if the road is considered an arterial, a local, or a collector street. We also look at the volume, how many vehicles each road is translated through each day. Also, the existing conditions, what's the severity of the road, of the striping on the road. We also, safety, is this going to be a safety concern for drivers? And of course, at last, cost is, do we have the budget to restripe this road segment? That being said, the city receives 16 service requests through our Connect app for restriping from our residents. Additionally, city staff surveyed 30 roadway segments which we consider are in need of restriping. So I put in here the top 5 list that staff ranked based on the previous criteria. City staff believes ranking number 1 is South Sanborn Road from Work Street to Fairview Avenue. At number 2, we have North Main Street on the southbound from West Alvin Drive to Navajo Drive. On 3, we have North Main Street, 230 feet south of West Laurel Drive, and that came also through a service request from a resident. At 4, we have East Oswald Street from Skyway Boulevard to Tampa Street. That was also a service request that we received through a resident. And Schilling Place from Harkins Road to Eden Street, which we also received quite a lot of service requests from residents. And then I have some pictures for the commission to consider. Here's Sanborn Road. We have North Main Street at the southbound. We have North Main Street south of West Laurel Drive. We have East Oswald Street. And lastly, we have Schilling Place. With that, open for any questions.
Great, thank you. Thank you for your presentation, I appreciate it. Does anybody on the commission have any questions for staff? Mr. Hernandez?
Yes, on this, okay, you have these 5 for the year, right? Streets?
Yeah, well, we have a total of 46, which is on the list is on the report, but just for this presentation purposes, I just put in the top 5.
And then when they're done, then next year you get another 5, or how's that work?
No, we'll continue to resurvey each street, and we'll add more new that, depending on the weather or conditions, we'll keep adding to the list, and we'll remove these 4 or 5 that have been done this year.
Yeah, because the whole city is in dire straits. It's really pretty bad all over. And, to me, a lot of school areas, you can't see the marking, and that's important too.
Yeah.
So, you have children out there walking, and so, I know you guys will look into that, but thank
Yeah,
you.
we surveyed all of our arterial collector streets and some locals as well.
Okay. Oh, thank you. That's all.
Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner Metelli.
Yes, I do have questions. So you said you have just the top 5 pictures, but you said 16 service requests from the public and 30 staff.
We surveyed 37.
So how many will the budget allow for?
It depends on once we go to bid, but mostly we are able to do 4 to 5 streets
Within the budget
within the
that's there?
budget, yes.
So some of those pictures, the streets look kind of tore up. So if we do the striping right now and then they repave, we'd have to do the restriping again?
Yes, but these streets, we don't have a plan for pavement maintenance in the future 5 years. That's why
okay.
they're in the list, or else we wouldn't have put them in the list.
Okay, so we're not going to stripe them this year, repave next year, and then
Yeah.
have to restripe again?
Correct.
Okay, thank you.
Commissioner Daley.
Yes, I have a quick question. So we don't do this in-house. We don't have any stripers on staff?
Not for larger projects or larger roadways like our arterials. We have to contract out for restriping.
All of it?
For our major arterials and collector streets, we have to, do a contract out. Our maintenance can only do minor striping.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So it's just through the maintenance department that we do striping within certain places, like residential?
If it's a legend or a crosswalk, it's small, our maintenance can take care of that. Yeah.
Sorry if I may, the city does not have the maintenance capacity to do major road work, like
Correct.
blocking it off, traffic control, the machine to do major linear stripes. And so that's why it has to be outsourced.
Correct,
Because we
yeah.
simply do not have the capacity.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
sorry.
Thank you, that helps clarify it. Okay. And those 5 projects are 250,000?
No, that's just so
Just the beginning?
we don't have the exact cost yet. I included those 5 just for presentation purposes. But once we go out to bid,
Evident.
we'll see what the actual cost is and how many we can fit within the project.
Thank you.
Commissioner Peterson.
Since some of our streets are under Caltrans control and they're really bad too, was it possible to contact Caltrans and kind of lean on them to fix their streets?
Yeah, we have a communication with Caltrans every time we receive a request. And if it falls within Caltrans jurisdiction, we let them know. Yeah.
Thank you. I just have a few questions myself. If we were to, let's say we get a magic bucket full of gold, how much do you guys think, ballpark, it would cost to restripe the entire list? I mean, I know you can't go out to bid, but just can we say like $1 million, $500,000, $10 million?
More than $1 million, probably. Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's going to be a significant amount. So
Yeah.
only touching the top, you'll work your way down as far as you can based on the bids you receive.
Correct.
Okay, cool. Then it mentioned on Adams Street, for example. I used to live on Adams Street, and it was very busy. I lived on the first block, if you're familiar. So, but is there a plan? Obviously, the striping has worn off probably to the point that it's not visible anymore, but any remaining striping, is there a plan to scrape it or grind it off? And so there's no stray markings, or they just let them fade away until they're gone?
For Adams Street,
Or any of the streets that you guys recommend not to include in this?
if there's a request for a crosswalk or legend like the stop marking, our maintenance can go and service it. But for major roads, we don't.
No, but I mean, like, in the report, it mentions that you're not, here, Maple Street, Ryder Avenue, Riker Street, Villa Street, Los Palos Drive, and Adams Street have centerline striping in various conditions. These roadways are classified as collectors, but the MUTCD does not require centerline striping of collectors if traffic volume is below 6,000. So none of these, excuse me. So none of these roadways, those specific roadways, do not meet this criterion. So your staff is recommending not to even include those on the list, which is fine.
Right.
But if there's any stray striping left on there, because it hasn't completely worn off, are they going to be scraped to get rid of it, or
No, it's
just leave them as is?
No, it's going to be left as is. Yeah.
Got it. All right. And then you already answered this or asked this question: the PCI, or the streets that are included in the pavement condition index and that are scheduled to be ripped up anyway, we're not touching for the next 5 years anyway. And then the Safe Streets to School program, that's its own bucket, right, for funding. And so none of those places that need to be striped near schools would be part of this anyway, because Safe Streets to School will be taking care of that.
Correct, yeah.
Okay, cool. That's the only questions I have. Does the public have any questions? Please, come on up.
Mary Ann Morton. So welcome to our new members here. I'm glad we're restriping those, because those streets are bad. But while you're doing that, the dividers at the end of those streets you cannot see where the divider is, especially Williams and, Alisal and John meet and the Williams Road. That one is really bad. You never can see it. But there's a whole bunch of them here in town, from on Market Street to everywhere you go. On the dividers, you cannot see at night, when it's raining especially, and it's really dark, you cannot see where their dividers are. I've seen so many people hit those dividers, and like the trucks will even go over them, because you don't see it until you're right up to it. So they need to be, we used to have reflectors on them, so you could see it from a distance. No matter if it was foggy or not, you could see those reflectors. Somewhere along the line when we were redoing some of these streets, those reflectors disappeared and we never put them back on. We used to even have them on the streets, and we still have some on the streets where the divider is at. But those are really, really necessary, especially in that area where there's a lot of trucks going in and going towards the coolers over there on Abbott and all that area. Abbott's really bad. So I'm glad to see some of that's getting done. So thank you. But redo the centers. They really, really need it. It's really dangerous.
Thank you, ma'am.
Hello again, Michelle Overmeyer with Monterey Salinas Transit. Thank you to staff for the presentation and the effort in this. MST does operate on many of the segments that are listed in the staff report, so we fully support restriping to safely delineate travel spaces. I just want to reiterate that MST buses are 10 feet 7 inches wide, so please take that into consideration when you make any recommendations or take actions. I'm hoping that the restriping doesn't narrow any travel lanes to less than 11 feet. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other comments? Public comments, Zoom? Sweet. All right, public comments will be closed, and if there are no other questions from the public on this item, we will close the floor to public comments and bring this back to the commission for discussion or a motion. Does any other commissioner have a question or comment or a motion?
I have a question about once the, it goes out to bid and the monetary monies come back and there's a better honed down idea of how many projects can be completed, would that be presented or will you just go ahead with your project? I'm just,
So what we're planning on doing, and this is something that probably the commission hasn't seen before, is we're planning to come back to you with a report of the work that we've completed at the end of the fiscal year.
okay. Thank you. That answers it. Yeah.
Any other questions from the commission? Okay, I am looking for a motion to, I don't personally have any questions. I've already asked everything, so I'm looking for a motion to adopt. Motion? Second? Second? Can we do a roll call, please?
Commissioner Daley?
Approve.
Commissioner Mattelli? Yes. Commissioner Hammer?
Yes.
Commissioner Peterson? Yes. And Commissioner Hernandez? Yes. Thank you.
Yes.
All right, thank you. That was relatively painless. We are now moving on to the final administrative report and presentations. This is, there's no no administrative reports or presentations. We're going down to commissioner comments and reports. This is the time for our newbies to talk about things that are exciting for you, or you want to report to the commission or discuss or bring up for future meetings, things you're involved with, or positive things you've seen or like or dislike. I'm going to start with Mr. Hernandez this time.
Yes. You know, I've brought this up before. It's corner of Calle Cebu and Shover Drive. It's a mess. You know, whoever put those dividers there to turn right, you know, there used to be a ramp to go right, and now it's blocked off right there by Gutierrez and that Catholic church. And you know what? Sometimes I've seen traffic backed up almost to the bridge. You know, I don't see the purpose of that. It's a waste. And I've seen people go over those little what do you got them? Little flag poles, what do you want to call them? They go over to cut across. Yeah. And you know what?
Delineators.
If we want a good flow of traffic, we got to start there. That's one of the many. And I don't know what, again, the purpose of that. Whoever brainstormed that one, I'm sorry. It's not a bright idea. But that's my input, okay? Thank you so much.
If I can jump ahead of you really quick. So I think we discussed in the past that if two commissioners bring up a specific issue, then we can ask for staff to create a presentation or brief report. And I know the reason why you guys did this, but I think it would be very interesting for the commissioners or the commission and the public to know why this is happening. And if we can put it on the agenda for an informal presentation, not something to vote on, but just a informational presentation only by staff, why, doesn't have to be long, but why this was done. I think that would be very helpful. Thank you. Commissioner Mattelli, please.
I'd just like to say thank you to the staff for your presentations. They're always very informational. Thank you.
Commissioner Peters.
I've got 2 months worth of stuff, and I'll try to be quick. First, Ariana and Gerardo attended the TAMSI Bicycle Pedestrian Facilities Advisory Committee last month, And that's very much appreciated. Did a presentation on Williams Road and what's going to go in there, which is really neat. And I kind of hope you noticed that I'm not the only one who wants bicycles off sidewalks. But, you're welcome to come more. You won't have me there as chair either. But it's a good group. And that kind of lets me segue into, we really need to bring back the Salinas Bicycle Advisory Committee. I did a presentation, online presentation on bike highways. And that's an interesting name for linking bicycle facilities to get us from point A to point B. And I think we don't use the name, but I think we've got a couple of those in Monterey County already. And I'm thinking about the Salinas Marina Multimodal Corridor, which takes us from a few feet away from where we are right now to Marina. And that's the same concept. It's just, we didn't call it that. But the presentation was by California Bicycle Coalition, and it was pretty good. And they're apparently really going at this concept in Santa Clara County. I mean, we've got things like that here. As I say, we just don't call them that. But it's a neat concept. Back to bicycles on sidewalks for a moment. And I saw this in San Francisco right by the Giants Stadium, but a guy with 2 dogs was going around a corner, and a guy on an e-bike was coming the other way, and it was a dicey moment. But I wish the e-bike had been off the sidewalk, but that's the way it goes. Ms. Obermeyer, thank you for being here. I hope you come to a lot of our meetings. And you mentioned students getting free. I have a 72-year-old friend who uses her student pass on MST, and quite happily she does that a lot. And she is also looking forward to the surf line. So that is, we won't go into too much of detail. That's not in Salinas, that's over on the coast. But that will be really neat when that finally gets built. And last thing, according to Smart Cities Dive, U.S. e-scooter injuries treated in ERs rose 80% last year. So those of you who use e-bikes,
I love my e-bike.
well, you probably know, at least when I saw you on yours, you were riding safely.
Relatively safely.
Yeah, we have, I'm sure everybody has noticed bicycles all over, left side of the road, all sorts of things. And we are getting more and more e-bikes on our roads, and what scares me is on our sidewalks. And you have to be careful. And that would be another job for the Salinas Bicycle Advisory Committee to handle. Thank you.
Ms. Daly?
I just want to say thank you for my first time and learning, and all of the graciousness, and staff has been very generous. Thank you.
Thank you. I just have a few small things. I ran into Carl Sidoric just a minute or two before this meeting, and it was really neat. Obviously, Salinas has been raising their MST ridership, which is amazing, which is awesome. So I just found out that I can actually ride the bus from Salinas all the way to Paso Robles, and I didn't know we went that far. So that was kind of neat, and I think it's going to cost like $4 or $2 or something like that, so which is a steal. I was actually thinking about renting a car, but I might just do that for $2. So that's really neat. Again, I want to encourage everybody to participate in public meetings and whatnot. The BRT for the Alisal corridor is a project coming up. I'm not sure how public it is in the sense of everybody can show up, but there is motion or things happening there to accelerate that, which is amazing, which is great. Other than that, I don't have a whole lot. I appreciate you all for coming, and please.
So I have an announcement for everybody. At the next council meeting on September 23rd, we will have TAMC visiting us and giving a presentation on our future train connection. So if you're able to participate, that's going to be on September 23rd.
Thank you. Let's put that on your calendars. It'll be exciting. Yes, sir.
Just one other quick thing, since TAMC's been mentioned and MST's been mentioned, is over the years I've become familiar with both those agencies, and I'm very impressed. They're both very good, and we're lucky to have agencies like that. We've had a few other things in Monterey County that have been disasters, and the MST and TAMC are both very good.
Thank you for all your one last thing.
One more thing, you guys, thank you for your hard work. Really appreciate it and your support. Thank you.
All right, I think with that, if there's no other comments from anybody, I am going to adjourn this meeting. Thank you very much for coming, and hopefully we'll see you guys next month.